Seems to me, if we had a true democracy, if we really, in actuality, had a free press, we would be hearing a debate between the two true representatives of the two major parties. Ron Paul on the right, who's never known a federal program that he wouldn't defund or at least minimize. And Kucinich, who believes in using the government as a tool of, by, and for the people. What we get instead is a constant parade of contestants whom all seem to agree on one thing. That is, an unfettered, fully financed, semi-oversighted military juggernaut. The only appropriations bill yet to be signed into law is the defense authorization to the tune of $470 billion, 10% larger than last year's. Although they sometimes offer an insignificant tweak here or there, left, right, and center politicians are all enamored with the military might of the American empire. In fact, every time a weapons system or research project is trimmed or cut on the floor, it always gets put back in during the conference committee negotiations. Good case in point is a strategic defense initiative, better known as Star Wars. 20 some odd years of failure in quest of an ultimately unattainable goal of total defense. And every time that it's been stripped from the budget, it gets funded in those conference committees, year after year. You know, we could shift our domestic economy completely off of fossil fuels. And it's not that it's not technologically possible. We have the wherewithal. Between solar, geothermal, and wind power, we could supply all our transportation and manufacturing and heating and cooling needs. The real fight is between centralized or local power generation. But like I was saying, even if we shifted our domestic economy off of fossil fuels, we'd still be fighting oil wars. Why? Because that is what fuels our military. We fight for oil to fuel our troops, which we need to secure our access to oil. And that single-minded chase has left the U.S. in a state that now our manufacturing base is the military-industrial complex. And even that is not enough to feed the machine. We are importing bullets and even helicopters, which, by the way, can't fly when it gets too hot. And how dumb is that, what with global warming? And speaking of which, Are you aware that the military is exempt from almost all of our environmental regulations? It is an out-of-control behemoth that grows larger each and every year. The military is the only program that the majority of our politicians, and unfortunately our population, blindly support in a misbegotten patriotic fever. And until that changes, then the doom of our nation is inevitable. Because money invested in the war machine is money that you might as well throw away. There is no multiplier effect. Now, into the circle file.